Hey, welcome back to my channel. Been a minute, right? And like this is new. Usually you're just seeing my hands and paintbrushes. And so I thought I'd try something different. And trying something different with my videos as well. Hopefully they won't be as long. So let's talk about her. I'm kind of in love with her. She is from Mecha and 1/6 scale. The link for where you to purchase her is going to be below, and also my buy me a coffee link. And guess what else is down there? The subscribe button. There's like 80% of you people that watch my videos. You people. There's like 80% of all of you guys that watch my videos that are not subscribed. Come on, y'all. It's just a real quick subscribe. You don't even have to click the bell, but I would love it if you did. So when I release something new, hopefully a little bit more consistently. Yeah. So let's talk about her. She is sitting, one leg dangling, holding on to her bag because she's been shot with an arrow. But she's sitting on this beautiful tree base. I mean, he doesn't just like give you a plain flat base for the models. Everything is cohesive and works together, and it's just awesome. So let me take her off the base and get a closer look at her. She's so beautiful. Let me get the focus on her. Look at her face. Look at that. She is absolutely astonishing. So if you want to see how I painted her, just keep watching. So what I'm doing here is I've got my base of the skin tone down, and I have lightened the skin tone with just a little bit of light flesh diluted, and I go over areas that I want to be like a little bit more highlighted than the rest of the skin tone. You can do this with an airbrush or a paintbrush. It really doesn't matter. And then right here I have taken a little bit of burnt red and the flesh tone, and I've diluted it a whole lot, so it's very thin. You get a very subtle result, but you get those pink areas that you want to, you would like your skin tone to have. In the mouth, around the elbows, the ears, as you'll see here, like a little bit above her lip, and I'll get on her nose a little bit, because those are areas that have more of a blood supply to it, especially if you're like she would be, anxiety ridden, stressed out. Adding a little of it to her cheeks. I've already yeah, so here I've made that just a little bit darker because I want her knees to look like they're red. You know, maybe she's fallen, or there's going to be more pigment in those areas because she's got her knee bent. And I tried to go realism here. You know, she's supposedly just escaped and injured, wounded. And here I'm just going really super thin with this initial base color. Saddle brown is the base for her hair. Well, we're not going to say hair, we're going to say snakes, because she's got snakes for hair. That's just the base. And then I took bone white and a little bit of that saddle brown and did the underside of the snakes. Here I've taken Flayed One Flesh from Citadel, and I just go ever so slightly on those super highlighted areas. Middle stone for the ropes on her leg and around her neck. That's the base. And I think it's a really good rope color. If you look at a rope, it's not brown, it's not tan, it's kind of like a mixture of all of those things. So I use that for my base, and then for anything that I do a wash on, I've made my own wash, a brown or a black, and I go over the ropes with the wash. I think I show it here in just a second. But it just makes like a really good rope color. And then here I'm using my wash just in the creases of that rope. You don't want it on every part of the rope. You just want it inside, like where the rope is twisted. And you get a really good effect from that. Not too much on your brush, because then you'll have a mess on your hands. And yeah, I like to use my hand to get off any excess paint. And then here I'm going with that Flayed One Flesh again as the highlight on the rope. And you'll see here, I think I put the, yeah, I'll show you a close up. I think it really turned out well here. Yeah. And I have found that sometimes you don't really need one of those super teeny tiny brushes. This brush is, wasn't prepared for that. This brush is an Artist Loft brush, and bought it at Michael's, but that tip is like a needle point. It is super sharp, and I get really good results. Better results with this bigger brush than I do with my super fine Winsor & Newton brushes. See how great those brows turned out? I can't even do my own brows that good. Same brush for the eyelashes. I do use a smaller detail brush for her eyes and pupils. I just feel more confident using my small brushes. And for some reason, I have lost the footage of me doing her eyes. But on her eyes, I used my normal bone white with just a tad of gray and a little tad of white, because you don't want whites in her eyes. And then no pupils, because she is Medusa, and I used a green fluorescent from Vallejo Model Color and a Goblin Green from Game Color Vallejo. This Loin Cloth is a mix of saddle brown and mud brown, both from Vallejo. And yeah, this is just edge highlighting done with a little bit of flesh tone and Flayed One Flesh. I do like that Citadel Flayed One Flesh. It makes for a great layer. A little bit of highlighting with that. And then I'll go over that highlighting in a little bit less areas with a lighter version. Just add a little bone white or just a tiny bit of white. You just want to lighten that up just a little bit. You don't want stark, differences. But you get a really good leather look, I think. The snakes, those are from Vallejo Shifters line. And that is a mix of dark green tin and golden yellow and burnt orange. And I love how these snakes came out. The Shifters paint is so awesome. You put it over whatever color base you want, and you see the base, but then you turn it and you see the shift. And it's just so cool. I just love how it made these snakes come out. They just look so amazing. And the snake's eyes, I don't know if I'm showing that yet or not, but when I do the eyes, I wanted that yellow to really pop. And that yellow is a mix of sun yellow and, oh no, we're painting the ring on our ropes. Yeah, that's just Mecha Steel, also from Vallejo, the Mecha line. This is me putting a brown wash over Mecha color, also white gray. I used on her those little wrap thingies, and then brown wash over that. This is a lighter gray Vallejo, just light gray, just only on the highlights. And then when I was finished with this, I went over the whole thing with a satin varnish. She's all covered in matte, but that was a satin varnish. Here I'm showing the snakes. The white for the eyes, it will really make that yellow pop. And then all of the snakes, I put a little black line like a snake would have. I do have photos at the end of this so you can see a snake close up, how I did the eyes. Here's the base, and it's just a mix of cheap acrylic paint. Those are ones that I have extras of, so yeah, that's just getting it covered up. And then once I've got that all covered up, I go back and dry brush with a little bit of Moccasin brown. You'll see that here in just one second. There it is, the Moccasin brown, just a dry brush, because I knew I was going to go like over the top with this base. I just needed something, you know, to give it the tree look. And then right here, I'm going in with just a dark green, cheap acrylic paint again, just to give it like that mossy, greeny look, you know, like how an old twisted tree would have. This is my thing that I love to go over the top with. The fine leaf foliage from Woodland Scenics. Just here and there, you know, just glue it on. You can use PVA like I did, school glue. You can use Mod Podge. You can use any kind of glue that's going to dry clear. And it gives it a really cool effect, you know, like an actual tree. Then here is just Mod Podge, matte Mod Podge, and some, I believe this was summer green or medium green flocking. You just dip it in and put it where you want it, and then scoop up some flocking and slather it on. And you know, it doesn't look great right now, but it turns out awesome. And here are the photos. So I hope you liked this video, and my Buy Me a Coffee link is below. Please hit that like button and subscribe and share it. But I would love to hear your comments. Love to hear what you guys think about this. And that's it. Thanks for watching.